And I just thought I'd talk about tramping. Excuse me. Just thought I'd talk about tramping. If this bloke in a Peugeot puts his foot down at it. Tramping. What's tramping? Tramping is defined basically as a truck driver that lives in his truck during the week, or during the weekend, or over a set period of time governed by law and rules and regulations. Right? And you know, you can have basically the drivers are split into two categories: daymen and trampers, or nights. Days, nights, or trampers. I'm a tramper, which means I get into the truck at the beginning of the week and I don't go home until the end of the week. How comfortable you want to be really depends on A, your own mindset, and B, how much kit you want to carry around with you. Now I'm lucky because this is my truck and I stay in this truck. I don't cab hop, I don't change trucks every week. So of course, you know, the amount of kit you have with you is dictated to whether you stay in your own truck or you have your own dedicated truck. If I had to change every week, I would carry a lot less gear than I do. It also depends on the spec of the truck, if it's well appointed or whether it's a poverty spec truck. This one's pretty well appointed. It's got its own built-in fridge, it's got a microwave, and it's got an inverter that I can run 240 gear off of. Only up to 1,000 watts, but that covers a lot of gear, electrical equipment, you know. So things that you need to have with you, and I see on the forums and I read on the forums and I read on the Facebook pages for truckers, the amount of people that go, I don't know what to take. Fucking hell, have you never been camping? You know, just think of it like that. You're going on a camping holiday. Think of all the things you need to keep you, keep you sorted. So I'm just going to go through a few basics. Now, for those of you that are truckers and are trampers, feel free to pick holes in what I say. Like I say, this is purely what I've got and what I carry around with me. Some would say, well, that's way too much, but I like to be comfortable. So, you know, I don't want to get to somewhere and go, oh, I wish I had that, or I wish I had this. I've got it, you know. I like to keep myself sorted. So like I said, on board I've got a fridge and I've got a microwave and an inverter. So there's a number of things you need to think about, and it's one of the questions I saw the other day was, how much clothes do you take? Well, you know, I know I carry too much gear, but you got to think, enough underwear to keep you going. And when I mean keep you going, it's not like, you know, I was in the army, fuck me. We'd make a pair of underpants last a week, but there's no need for that. You know, there's no need for that at all. So just be sensible about it. Think, clean set of clothes every day. Maybe you won't change your t-shirt every day or every couple of days, maybe. But a couple of pairs of shorts, I've got a pair of jeans, I've got a boiler suit, I've got fleeces, hoodies, you know, sweatshirts, everything that depends on the weather, doesn't it? You could get wet 2 or 3 times a day depending on what you do. And if you're strapping loads down and it's the middle of winter and it's pissing down with rain and you've got 2 or 3 tips or curtain siders that you have to pull back and you've got half a dozen jobs to do, you're going to get fucking wet. You need to change the clothing. And that includes boots and shoes and socks and all that bollocks that goes with it. You know, you need some serious amount to change your clothing. I carry all of that. So I'd never get caught out. Never. So that's the clothing. People say, oh, what do you sleep in? Not as in what do I personally sleep in, as in like what am I wearing. I ain't got fucking pyjamas or nothing. But you know, the beds in these trucks are pretty comfortable these days. I've never had a problem. I sleep better in the truck than I do at home, I've got to be honest. Much as I love my gorgeous Kira, I do like the truck. I do like my bed in the truck. sheet on top of the mattress, and on top of the fitted sheet, I've got a single duvet, nice thick single duvet. And then I either have, during the summer, I tend to just have one of those blue fleecy type blankets. I tend to sleep with nothing over me, because it's just too warm. And then, you know, early hours of the morning, it gets a little bit nippy, pull that over, plug your warm. Or, during the winter, I've got a double duvet that's lovely and snug, and a couple of pillows. I've also got a couple of cushions, so I can sit up and be nice and comfortable, you know? It's all about how comfortable do you really want to be. Anybody can slum it for a night, but, you know, this is my home during the week. I want my creature comforts. I don't believe that you have to be uncomfortable. If you're being uncomfortable in the truck, and then basically you're doing something wrong. Then you need to think about, so we've done clothes, done sleeping. I've also got a couple of USB fans that are rechargeable, and when it gets a bit warm, like it is getting, you know, at the moment, put on those. They last until the early hours in the morning. By that time, you're asleep and it's cooled down anyway. So yeah, I've got a couple of those that I've run. What else is there? Eating. Now this could be a whole new separate category on its own, new video on its own. It's just eating. You know, those that have known me and follow me on Instagram know that I love to cook. I enjoy cooking. I'm not bad at cooking. I can rustle up a meal out of basically whatever I find in anyone's cupboard, you know, and it'll be pretty good, whatever I can find. So I'm pretty adaptable. But I tend to plan my meals out for the week. I normally take 2 or 3 fresh meals with me. Like this week, I've got 3 meals with me, and I might eat out a couple of times, purely simply because I'm knackered and I just want something quick and easy. And I will go and have a McDonald's or a Burger King or noodles, or, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just easier to do that, or you pull into a truck stop and you look at the food and go, actually, that looks really nice. That's steak, kidney pie, chips, beans and beans, and I'll have some of that. Home cooked, on the plate, job done. And yeah, so I mix and mash, but I normally have 2 or 3 meals, at least 3 meals with me. And I always have tinned food, so tins of chilli, tins of soup, tins of tuna. I've got pasta on board. I've got noodles, pot noodles. I've got all sorts of stuff to keep me going. You know, if I had to rely on my own food supplies today, without buying any more food, I'd probably go for 2 weeks without even having to buy anything. I'd run out of milk, so that would be my only. That would be the only thing that I'd run out of. Water. I carry water. I carry a 10 litre. It's like it's got a tap. It's like a container with a tap on it. 10 litres of water, and that lasts me for the week. You know, during the summer I might have to top that up, but you know, that's easy done. But 10 litres generally lasts me the week, and I know I don't drink enough, but I do buy a drink as well during, you know, when I pull in somewhere. Electrical items that I've got in the truck. I've got a coffee percolator, which I love. It's a Longy coffee percolator, which makes a pint of coffee. And I fill my pint glass up, drink it with a flip-top lid, and that keeps me going for 2-3 hours. So I always make a pot of that. First thing when I wake up, one of those. I've also got a low wattage kettle that I can use for boiling water, which is always handy to have, but make sure it's low wattage. But obviously you need to have an inverter to run the kettle off, anything electrical. And I've also got a slow cooker, a little slow cooker. I think it cost me about 13-14 quid off Amazon. Absolutely perfect for being in the truck. You chuck your chicken, your veg, your stock cube, and some, you know, tin of tomatoes into that. You can already buy your your veg already chopped up out of Tesco, so there's no excuse. You haven't got to puff about it. Chuck it in there in the morning, switch it on, let the inverter do the trick. By the evening, I've got it. I can wedge it on the floor of my truck. By the evening, when I pull in, I've got a nice chicken stew, or chicken chasseur, or whatever I've decided to cook in the slow cook. I've already done my meals, cooked as I've been driving along during the day. Brilliant. But it's a wintry type thing, during the summer you ain't gonna want that, are you? But I eat fairly well in the truck. I tend to, you can buy the ready meals, but they tend to be full of salt and stuff. But I also use I've got 2 gas cookers, 2 different types. One's like a suitcase one, the little black suitcases, and it's like a big hairspray bottle full of gas. Slot that in, work brilliant. They're again 12, 13, 14 quid for one of those. And I use that most of the time. For cooking. I carry a wok, a small saucepan for doing pasta, because you can cook anything in a wok. I then use a small saucepan for boiling up pasta. And then I've also got a ridge monkey. Now if you don't know what a ridge monkey is, just Google it and look at it, and it's a double-sided like pan with which you can just flip over. So if you're doing a pork chop or a bit of steak, lay it in the pan, put the lid back down, close it down, and you just flip the whole pan over. You don't have to keep turning it. It keeps the fat, it doesn't spit fat anywhere or anything like that. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant for doing toasties. So always when I go into the services, if I go in and have a look around at the sandwich department, they've got like cheese and onion toasties, cheese and onion sandwiches. They're really cheap. Well, they're cheap anyway. But depending on the time of day when you go in, sometimes they have them like reduced down to £1 or something ridiculous. I use those, put them in there, cheese and onion toasties, happy on the ridge monkey, bloody lovely. Little things like that makes life an awful lot easier, and you're eating hot food. If you can't eat hot, it's one of the, you need to be able to eat a hot meal at some point during the day, really. But if you're no good at cooking, get your missus to cook, or get your mother to cook, or get someone to cook. And then you don't even need a microwave, just chuck it in a saucepan, heat it up on a gas stove. There's no excuse for not being able to fucking eat in the truck. No. Because I've done the cabs thing. No. I always bent the windows up the sunroof up, even in the winter. Never been a problem. My cab doesn't stink. I don't fry in the cab, mind you. I don't do fried food, but But if I will cook onions, and the cab doesn't stink. There's no need for it. And there is the little thing called air freshener. So cooking really shouldn't be an issue. And if you're a really shit cook, or just you can't cook, start learning. Do an omelette in a pan. Get a little fire. I've got a little fire pan as well. Get an omelette. Crack a few eggs. Chuck some ham into it. Stir it round until it becomes a nice scrambled egg. If you just start, no one's going to be judging you. This ain't MasterChef, Doesn't matter what it looks like, as long as it's edible. And really, that shouldn't take too much to do. So you can cook if you. I don't get people that wouldn't cook. No excuse, no reason not to be able to do it. You're only limited by your imagination and what you can. I mean, I've cooked chicken madrassis. I've done all sorts of different types of cooking in the cab. I love to experiment. This week I've got a couple of Chinese meals, and what else have I got? Trying to think what I've got this week. I've only put it in the fridge this morning. I can't remember what the fuck I've got in the fridge. But yeah, there's plenty of things that you can cook. Drinks, plenty of drinks on board, plenty of water, plenty of squash. I do take a rehydration tablet every day. I tend to find if I don't, I get dehydrated. I don't drink enough. Purely simply because you don't want to be stopping for a pee every 2 minutes. Bad enough as it is. So I do tend to drink a rehydration tablet. You know, dissolve one of those. And I find that keeps me on the straight and narrow. What else is there? Oh, these other kit. I've got a little Hoover. I've got a Sharp battery operated Hoover, which is pretty powerful, and it cleans the carpets. You'll be amazed how shitty your truck gets. Just have a sip of coffee. You'll be amazed at how shitty your truck gets. I'm not precious about the floor. You know, you see some drivers and they don't wear. Hang on a minute, let's see what we got on here. There you go. Yeah. You see them get into the truck, they take their boots and shoes off and they drive with bare feet. Well, I've got to break it to you. If you get stopped by the old bill, or there's an accident, you ain't got no shoes on, you're in a shit, fella. You wouldn't go for your test and not wear any shoes or boots or anything like that, because you just wouldn't be allowed. So I don't know why people decide afterwards that it's a good idea. So what else have I got in the truck? Trying to have a think, looking around. Oh, I've got like first aid kit, all that bollocks that you can't keep. First aid kits, I keep cleaning equipment. I've got a whole load of fly spray, insect repellent, bite cream. Oh, I'll get some bite cream because you can guarantee you're going to get bit and it's going to swell up. Bite cream, anti-bac, and obviously because of the pandemic we're carrying more anti-bac and hand gel and all that malarkey that you keep going. Having a look around. Oh yeah, plastic bottles for having a pee. This is for the blokes, girls. Well, I suppose you can get those like funnily type things, can't you? And aim that into a bottle. Ain't the best, but you know, needs must. And a bucket. You can get caught, and you got to do what you got to do. And for those that say, "Oh, I wouldn't do that," you're an animal. Are you going to cause yourself problems by storing it up, making yourself constipated, giving yourself all sorts of urinary infections because you're not going, because you're going to about to split your bladder in half? No, don't do it. You do what you got to do to keep you right. If you don't want to do it, then that's absolutely fine. But don't diss people that do, because they want to stay. You know, they don't want to cause themselves problems, and I guarantee that it will cause you problems if you don't do it. If you get caught short. So skipping on from that, yeah, I do carry a bucket because I line up with a liner and with a bin bag, like a pedal bin liner, and I use it as my rubbish bag. It stops the bag from, you know, if you do put anything in there that leaks, it doesn't go anywhere because it leaks into the bucket. You clean the bucket out. You know, like dregs and just general shit. You know, everything fucking leaks, doesn't it? So yeah, no, carry a bucket. What else have I got in here? Time to look around. So on my dashboard, on my little table, if you like, I've got coffee mugs. Oh yeah, plates and cutlery and all that stuff. Mugs, cutlery. I have tea, coffee. I've got granulated tea. I've got. Sorry, no, I haven't. I've got tea bags, a couple of different types of tea bags, depending on what mood I'm in. Coffee. I do like my coffee, so I've got ground coffee beans from a percolator. Quite partial to a milky coffee, so heat the milk up in the microwave in a mug, add a couple of heat teaspoons of granulated coffee. I don't do sweeteners, I don't do sugar, I do sweeteners rather. I have a range of cooking stuff like cooking knives, spoons and tongs and bits and pieces like that. I
oven gloves. Oh, I've also got a gas camping kettle. Yeah, going about electric kettles. So I've got an electric kettle, but I've also got a camping one. Just a little aluminium one. Holds about just over a mug full of water, which is perfect for making a cup of tea. That's all it's used for. Or a cup of coffee if I need to go down that route. Pens, papers. I always bring my iPad with me. Books. I've got a little. I'll tell you one of the best things I bought it in a pound shop, and they're USB LED lights, and it fits into a USB light socket, and it's got a flexible arm on it with the LED lights on the end of it as a head. And I've got two of those, and they just go into a USB port, and absolutely brilliant in the truck. Instead of having the big lights on, just have a little. Sometimes you only want a little light on. That's absolutely perfect. What else have I got? Oh, tea towels, flip-flops. Going back to clothing. I told you this was all going to be disjointed. I should have written everything down tonight and then read it off the script. No, I just make it up and I fucking wing it, don't I? So, flip-flops. When you go in and have a shower, some of these service stations and showers, some of them can be a bit iffy. Now, you've had 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe 80 blokes all go through that shower that day. And it may not have been cleaned for the last 30 times. So you can imagine that shower tray could be a little bit minging. So it's either have a shower or don't bother. But if you want to have a shower, flip-flops. Wear your flip-flops in the shower, and then you're not going to be treading in someone else's mollusk. You know? You don't want to be smunging that all up between your toes, do you? You know what I mean? You know. Flip-flops is a must. Obviously your wash gear, towel, change, until you change clothing, get sorted out. What have we got going on here? What does that say? M4 closed junction 5 to 4B, that's alright, what's going on at M4? Trying to think. Tools for the truck. Well, I carry a lump hammer. You can solve a lot of things with a lump hammer. So I tend to carry one of those, and I do use it on a regular basis. And a full set of bolts. I carry a full bolt kit, not one of these little ones that, you know, it's quite a fair big size bolt. Why not fair? It's about the size of a lunchbox, you know. But it's got every bulb imaginable in there. In the rollers up ahead, every bulb, and I've got more than one. It's easy to get caught out not having a, you know, headlamp bulbs. You can change headlamp bulb, put the bulb in, I could blown it straight away. Then you put another one in, hopefully I want to be alright. You know, it's happened to me. So I carry quite a good spare set of bulbs. But that's it really. If I break down or run out of anything else, it's beyond my capabilities to fix, then you don't get involved. Not today, not in this day and age. There was a time when you change your own tyres and all that sort of stuff. No, not today, you don't. So tramping really is all about being self-sufficient, you know. You just got to think, worst case scenario, you're stuck either on site, so you pull in somewhere and they go, oh sorry, I can't take you till the morning. And the office says, yeah, we'll stay there till the morning then. It's nice and secure. Because they've got no facilities there. You need to be able to be self-sufficient, don't you? There's nothing wrong with that. Plus the fact it saves you money. I mean, you could phone out for a takeaway to be delivered, but that's 15 quid, isn't it, by the time you've done all that. And, I've tricked it up every now and again. But being a tramper, that's part of the fun, that's part of the appeal, really. Being self-sufficient. Now, I don't get... when the pandemic first kicked in, there was truckers going, oh, couldn't even get a cup of coffee, all the garages were shut. You can't even make yourself a hot drink. Fuck me. What is wrong with people? Oh, there was nowhere to get hot water for my flask.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's your own fault. You know, gas cooker, kettle, or you got an inverter, buy a little camping kettle. There's lots of ways around it. There's no excuse. There is none whatsoever. I couldn't buy any sandwiches, I couldn't get enough in the week, we're not catered for. Fucking grow up, buy some food and cook it yourself. It really ain't that difficult. So that's make sure you got your charging cables, stuff like that, you know, for charging up your devices. And just, you know, just think about what, you know, it does take you a little while to get sorted out, because you're always going to go, yeah, I know, you know, or I could, you know, you go, oh, I ain't got that. Next time it'll take you a good couple of months to get yourself, yeah, you know, and I know that I carry too much gear. I know for a fact, I know when I empty my truck out, I'm always going, fucking hell, all the shit I carry around with me. But it's all the shit, I may not use it every day or even every week, but on the odd occasion I go, oh, I'm glad I got that. That was handy. And I'm glad I do carry it around with me and shift it around, even if I only use it once a year. Because that's once a year when you need it, you go, oh. Yeah, and that's the main thing. It's all about being comfortable. And like I said, if you want to be uncomfortable, then just turn up what you're wearing and crack on. Don't fucking moan about it. Because there's really no excuse. I'm trying to think what else I've got. What else have I got that's electrical? Well, that's about it. I don't tend to run too much. Plenty of food. What did I say? I've eaten plenty of food. Couscous. If you like couscous, brilliant. Bit of boiling water. Job done. And filling. And tasty. I like couscous. You can buy it in packets with like garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, and all sorts of different flavours. It just add a bit of boiling water, rehydrates itself. Done in 5 minutes. Add a bit of, you know, you can add a bit of anything to that. It's really nice. Quick and easy, simple meals, and cheap. Yeah, I think the main thing is being comfortable. Being comfortable makes the job bearable. Now I bring my laptop with me. I also run find my own personal phone is unlimited everything. It's something that I've always done. I've done it for years now. Unlimited internet. I only pay, I pay £43 a month. But it's peace of mind. As long as I've got internet coverage, and I'm with free. And to be fair, they're pretty bloody good. There's very few places that I've been to where I've had no internet. Sometimes it's been a bit iffy, I have to get my book out. But very rarely. So yeah, having a good internet connection, having a good phone. I also carry a spare phone. If my phone gets damaged or broken, I can whip the SIM out and stick it into another mobile, and I'm back on the road again. In fact, I've got 2 spare mobiles with me. Jeez, but yeah, I'm a bit over the top. A drinks flask for keeping your drinks warm. I've got the Contigos out at Tesco. They're about 12 quid. Really good. And they last, I use mine every day, at least twice a day. Well, I use twice a day, I use it. And so it gets a lot of use. And it works really well. Keeps drinks hot for ages. It's only 12 quid. I've had Camelback mugs in the past. After 3 or 4 months of the same sort of usage, they're falling apart. The seals break, the lid breaks. And they're nearly 30 quid. I wouldn't buy another Camelback one. booding ones. My wife's got one, and the lid doesn't. You know, these I can turn this one upside down and nothing leaks out of it. The booding ones, booding or whatever you call them. My wife's got one, and that's absolute shite. Yeah, I wouldn't even entertain it. Yeah, I do like my coffee. Coffee percolator. Oh, I've got an egg boiler as well. Yeah, I've got a little electric egg boiler. I do 3 boiled eggs. Got a little bit of water in it. Put the lid on. Like a perspex lid. It's got a timer on it. And basically the way that it works is that, you know, you have a little measure thing. And depending on how many eggs you've got in there, depends on how much water you put into it. And then and it's got a little heating element in it, which creates steam. And when the water runs out, the eggs are cooked. It's that simple. So you can do 3 eggs at a time, 2 eggs or just 1 egg. I tend to do 3 eggs when I use it. Generally use it in the winter. 3 eggs, and I have 2 for breakfast when I'm parked up somewhere. And I have the other one cold later on in the day with a bath salt vinegar fish. Love it. You know, it's just a little thing, isn't it? So yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I only use that in the winter. I don't tend to, because it's carrying the eggs. And you can get. I carry the eggs. Not a lot of room in the fridge. It's not a massive fridge, truck size fridge. I tend to keep the eggs out, but then it gets a bit warm in the cab sometimes. So, you know, my fridge tends to get pretty full, so I tend to keep all sorts in there. And if you don't do a lot of cooking, then you just want eggs. You'll have room in your fridge for your eggs, won't you? What else have I got? I think that's about it, really. So, I hope that makes sense to those of you, well, spit it out, to those of you that are possibly thinking about becoming a tramper. But it is trial and error, like I say, that you'll go, oh, you know, there's stuff that I could take out of the truck that I never use. Lots of stuff. I guarantee at one point in the future I probably will use it, and I do carry a lot of crap around with me, but you just never know, do you? And I'd rather have it and not use it than need it and not have it. Like I said, it's all about being comfortable, making your life easy. It's bad enough living in a tin box for a week. You're spending most of your life, you know. Prisoners have more room. If you go in and nick, even if you've got to share with someone, your own personal space. And bear in mind, these cabs are designed to have 2 people living in them. I've got a top bunk in mine, in this one. You know, you double manning. You see some of the Continental boys, and there's 2 of them in there. But no, I just would not do that. I use the top bunk for storing all my gear in. First yawn of the day. We're cracking on. I hope all of that makes sense. So for those of you that are new to trucking and are thinking about either being a tramper, or you're going, oh, I don't know what to take, I don't know what am I taking too much, or am I going to look a bit daft? Don't worry about it, you know. Load the truck up. Make yourself comfortable. You know, this is where, you know, you spend more time in here than you do anywhere else. So this has to be home from home. No point in roughing it. You know, you've got to Otherwise you won't last. I've got to be honest with you, you will not last. You'll come off of tramping. I think that's probably why I enjoy it so much. Well, not enjoy it, it's just, yeah, I do, I wouldn't do it otherwise. But I don't find it a hardship. You know, for those of you that are, for those that do find it a hardship, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. Yeah. Well, I could talk about all the things about maybe do it in a different. I knew he was going to do that. I didn't bother flashing him out. I think he put his foot down. There are downsides to tramping. There's a lot of downsides to tramping. You're away from your loved ones. You know, you can't get back home. You know, if you're home every night and the cat dies or the dog dies, you can do something about it, can't you? I was away when the cat died, which may not be a big thing to some people, but I like that cat. And it's upsetting for the family. And of course I wasn't there. It's little things like that. You know, birthdays, you know, your birthday's during the week, forget it. So you miss birthdays. Anniversaries. It can be shit sometimes. But you've got to look at it on the other side. You know, the way I look at it is that I know I'm quite a light sleeper, so I know if I was at home and I had to be up at 2, 3 o'clock, I'd have to be up at around. If I was working as a dayman, working as a dayman and doing the job that I'm doing now, then getting up at 1:30, 2 o'clock every day, and then coming home and not getting home until maybe 5, 6 o'clock at night, I'd be going to bed straight. I wouldn't be seeing any of the family. I'd be grumpy, grouchy, you know. It just would not work for me. Bad enough when I was on the buses, and I was having to get up at 5:30 every day, really, between 5 and 5:30, and it just kills you. You can't go to bed at 8 o'clock at night and sleep, and get your hours in. There's other things going on in the house. You can't expect everyone to tiptoe around you. It just doesn't happen. So tramping works for me, even though that it can be frustrating sometimes. Tramping is what I need to do. Go on in, put down, come on, that's it, got on. Roadworks up here, look. I haven't been up this way in a while. I've been always going up the M3 the last few weeks, I think. I should have said right at the beginning of this video, if you're not interested in listening to me talk about tramping, just turn the sound down, put some music of your own choice on, and just relax and watch the scenery. But if you've got got any questions about tramping, feel free to ask. I can only base my answers on what I do. Whether it's right or not is open to interpretation. Like I said, this is not trying to educate people, I'm just showing you what I do. This is how I do it. And I'm pretty comfortable, so I guess it's, you know, at the end of the day, there's no right and wrong. You know, you can do whatever you do to suit yourself. But as I say, this is purely and simply what I do, and I'm pretty comfortable. Working on a Sunday, join the Sunday club, but they're on some wedge today. I think tramping is a bit marmite. You either like it or you don't. Doesn't suit everybody. In fact, I think it'd be fair to say that it doesn't suit most. I think it takes a bit of a particular breed of person to be a full-time tramper. You've got to be happy with yourself and comfortable. It's a mindset thing as well, you know. If you need lots of interaction and stimulation and people around you, this ain't the job for you. It doesn't mean that you need to be a bit of a loner or a weirdo, but helps. But if you've got a and I'm talking personally now, if you've got a very low tolerance on the scale of stupidity and you have a genuine dislike for the vast majority of people, this is the perfect job for you, because you don't have to come into contact with too many people or have to deal with many people. You know, I have a dislike for the human race. The things I see and the things I read and the things I hear just makes me dislike people on an epic scale. And the levels of stupidity and incompetence that I come across from all walks of life. So I said to Kira, the other day, this week, Saturday morning, and we've both had weeks where, well, she had a week where she had to deal with a lot of fuckwittery, so have I. It's like, can't we just disappear off and live in a cabin for about 5 years and then come out? I want to be like a bear, you know? I want to hibernate for half the year, and then when I come out of hibernation, I just want to eat everything I can see, kill a few things, and generally rampage about the forest during the summer. I'd quite enjoy that. And then go, time for bed again, sleep through the winter. I should have been a bear. You know, this is a perfect job for people that don't like people. Yeah, I think that's a fair description. You know, you're left alone. Well, I tend to get left alone. So if I didn't have, you know, I'll speak to Kira later on tonight. Once I'm parked up, I know where I am. But other than that, if I didn't have Kira, I wouldn't speak to anyone. No need. Quite happy with who I am, what I do, and this is the perfect job. You know, this is a perfect job for me, but it's a good job for me to have. It pays decent money, Again, we could go on talking about HGV driver shortages. I think I've already touched on it a couple of times, but I might talk more about that at some point because it's starting to get a bit out of hand now. So anyway, I think I've waffled on enough about being a tramper. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Don't forget, press the like button, thumbs up or thumbs down, either way, I don't really care. But if you do hit the thumbs down button, I'd like to know why you hit the thumbs down button. You know, give me the courtesy of telling me why. And I might be able to do something about it. Of course, I'll make choose not to. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you can listen to more of me talking nonsense but driving through some wonderful scenery. So thank you very much for listening. If you've got this far, then thank you. I know a few of you will. I know there's a few that and I'm really glad you come along for the ride. So thank you very much. It's nice. I like it. I'm saying again, aren't I? Shut up. Right, I'm going to shut up. That's it. So that's all about that's tramping. That's tramping in a nutshell. If I've left anything out and you know anything any different, let me know, and I'll talk about it or not. I don't know. But that is basically tramping in a nutshell. Don't think there's anything more I can add to it. Like I said, it's my mind. You either like it, you either take to it, or you don't. Simple as. And there's good bits to it, and there's bad bits to it. It's like any job, isn't it? You make out of it what you want to make out of it. You know? But don't be frightened of having a go. Don't be frightened. You know, if you don't like it, find another job, won't you? That's simple to say. So I've waffled on for enough because I've nearly driven the A34 from Southampton to the M40, well, like the Watford area anyway, talking about one thing. And like I said at the beginning, it's not educational. I'm not trying to teach people how to do it. That's just what I do, and it's how I operate. And like I said, I'm comfortable, so I'm doing what my wife says I do now, repeating myself, so I'm going to shut up. Speak to you later.